Hey there, Erin. How are you doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I've had a fantastic day.
Yeah,
Fantastic
yeah.
day here in the North Carolina mountains where I live. Beautiful weather.
I wish we had beautiful weather too. It's pretty snowy by us.
Oh, snowy. Oh, gosh. Well, it was probably about 65 degrees, somewhat overcast, but still beautiful. So we're
That sounds
about a
gorgeous.
minute. We're about a minute from
Yeah,
officially starting. So I'm just reminding people and encouraging people to post to let their people know, their TikTokers know that we're in this live event and that you are
awesome.
going to reveal the secret to Kickstarter programs, right?
I will try. I'll give as
So,
many
and we're
tips as
going to be
I
flying.
can give.
Right, exactly. So before we get into that, I'm going to look over here um, to check. So you'll be seeing me look from there time to
Yeah,
time because that's where I have
that's
my
fine.
notes. So, okay. So, just so you know. Okay. It looks like we're about 20 seconds from doing it. I
All
think I'm
right.
going to go ahead and briefly start with introductions. Again, for those of you who maybe are just joining us or maybe watching us via the YouTube channel where we'll be uh, downloading this is Brad Swift. I write under two names, Oren Jason Bradford for my adult fantasy and science fiction, and for the kids and young adults under W. Bradford Swift. And if you want to know why I separate those two, you can go to my TikTok. I have a story behind the stories, why I separated them that way. And to my, let's see, that would be my right, but not really actually to my right, but there in Iowa, in snowy Iowa, is Erin Casey. Erin is also a fantasy writer, and she also uh, started, I believe, a writers group
Mhm.
called
The writer's rooms.
Writers Room.
Yes.
So if we have time, we'll talk about that. And then, like I said, we're here to talk about her books, about her life as an indie author. And now we are going to officially get started. Anything you'd like to say by way of introducing yourself further, Erin?
Mostly just welcome everybody who's joined us. I see True in the comments. Thank you for joining us today. Um, like Brad said, urban fantasy author of Purple Door District series, and I'm really excited to talk to you and everyone today.
Very good. Very good. So am I. I've been really looking forward to this. And so one of the things I always like to start with, a question like this to my fellow authors is, what was it that got you into writing? It might be a book, could have been a person, could have been an incident. What was it that inspired you to say, hey, it's time, I'm going to try writing?
It's kind of been a mix. I definitely was inspired by books about dragons. That's what really got me interested in creating stories. So, Dragon's Milk by Susan Fletcher and her series really got me interested. And Dealing with Dragons, that series as well. I absolutely love those.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me start writing like short stories about dragons and kids ending up in far off worlds with their companions. But it was Brian Jake's books, Redwall, that really got me into thinking I could make writing a career. I
Oh,
would
wow.
say he's the author who's my idol, or was my idol. May he rest in peace. And I absolutely loved his writing. And the one thing that he said that has always stuck with me is paint pictures with your words.
Mm,
And that's what I try to do with my writing as much as possible.
yeah. Yeah. Very great. Very great. And approximately when would you say you stepped into the world of being a writer?
Well, I started writing short stories in middle school, really got serious about wanting to finish my own books in college, and then actually started publishing about, oh goodness, about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 years ago. So, um, yeah, it's been a I'm going to do the cliche thing and say I've wanted to be a younger since a very young age, but at the funny thing is that I never liked reading when I was little. I wanted my mom to read to me. I never liked reading by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that changed, but then all of a sudden I became a massive bookworm and started devouring books like crazy.
Right. Probably at the time when she said, "No, I'm not reading to you anymore. You go read for yourself." Something like
Right?
that's what my mom would have done. So, all
Hmm.
right, good, good. So, what was it that was the spark? Again, maybe multiple sparks that had you start thinking about this purple door district. If I'm getting that correct.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
A couple of things. So, the world of the Purple Door District actually is a creation of myself and my co-creator A.E. Keller. We have been working on this surrounding world for probably about the past 12 years at this point. It's been quite a
Wow.
while. And we were interested in kind of dipping our toes in, into the publishing world to see how people would receive our books. One small component of it that I really loved was the Purple Door District. So, safe haven for parahumans. So, werebirds, werewolves, vampires, magi, fae, that's denoted by purple colored doors or
We're
purple
having a
items
little
that
techno.
signify. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, we just got a little bit of tech. You froze there for a second. So could you say the last
Okay, I'm
sentence again,
sorry.
if you can recall what it was?
Yeah. Um, so we wanted to dip our toes into the publishing world with the smaller part of it, which is the Purple Door District, which is a safe haven for parahumans, so werebirds, werewolves, vampires, fae,
Hmm.
magi. And they live in districts that are denoted by purple doors or purple items that indicate this is a parahuman safe area. Um, and we thought, well, let's try this. Let's see how people receive it. And let's solidify some of our world building so that we can make sure we're doing it right in our main series. So I'd had a bunch of friends start publishing. And I started learning from a ton of self published authors what to do, how to create the book, how to format it, how to publish it, etc. And we were like, all right, let's give it a shot and we will see what happens. So we did.
And you
The
did, and go ahead.
I was going to say the funny thing about the first book, uh, the Purple Door District, is that this started out as a NaNoWriMo project. For those who don't know, NaNoWriMo is basically a competition, not for yourself, in the month of November where you try to write a 50,000 word book. And I was like, I'm just going to write this, see what happens. I never thought that it would end up turning into a published book, but a year later it was out on the market. Go figure.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put a plug in for NaNoWriMo as well. I have written probably probably six of the books that are back there started out as NaNoWriMo projects.
Nice.
Some of them I reached the 50,000 word reach, others I didn't, but they still got me started in that direction. So if
Mhm.
you are an aspiring author or a newbie author, even an experienced author, November is a great month to devote some real quality time to NaNoWriMo because you get great
Yeah.
support from it's a nonprofit organization. They do a great job itself. And books like, the Purple, I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering your
Purple
thing.
Door District. It's a
Yeah,
tongue
it
teaser.
is a little bit. Purple Door District itself.
Yeah.
So you've said a little bit about it. Just whet the appetite of the readers a little bit more. And before you do that, I'll give you a second to figure out what you want to say. I want to welcome Daniel and Jeremy and Big Moose and anybody else who's here that I've not seen come up on the screen. Thank you for being here. Save the questions for Erin for the end, and you can put those in case I don't ask one of the ones that you would really like to know the answer to. So let's whet our appetite a little bit more about what's in that first book.
So the first book, The Purple Door District, is about a werebird named Bianca who's being chased by hunters. Her only chance to survive is the Purple Door District of Chicago, a safe haven for parahumans like herself. It's up to the Purple Door District to come together to rescue her and themselves from the dark forces following her. So, this is the first introduction of the Purple Door District to readers, as well as to my werebird character, Bianca. She's a Latina character who can turn into a caracara, which is a bird that's native to Mexico. I have my sensitivity reader went through the book, make sure that I wasn't making any stereotypes. um and it's the first book really deals with getting into Chicago. The books are set in Chicago. It's near where I grew up. um, and you get a taste for the Chicago life. You get to see what the characters are like there, so you get introduced to the society of the Purple Door District, the werewolves, the vampires, the werebirds, magi, the differences between magi and witches, and you get to see what hunters are like and why they're after the parahumans to begin with. And then it continues
Oh,
on into Wolf Pit and A Game of Fae. Wolf Pit is published. A Game of Fae is coming out this June, which that's what I'm running my Kickstarter for. So the stories just keep continuing and the cast keeps growing.
well, that's good. That's what you want, and that's what readers, really like as well.
Mhm.
So Bianca, I've got to stop for a moment and go back to Bianca, the werebird. Werebird.
Yeah.
I can't even say that either, because I know birds have kind of a special place in your heart. I'm actually a little surprised not to see one on your head or shoulders. So tell me about your experience and your love of birds.
Well, there's a couple. One is I am a bird mom to six birds. So if you hear squawking or squeaking, that's probably one of them in my office. They get a little scared of my TikTok setup. So I'm still trying to help them get adjusted to that. So, of course, I have a love for birds
Oh,
that
gotcha.
way. But I also volunteered for a raptor rescue center. So I got to work on owls, eagles, peregrine falcons, uh, oh my goodness, I'm completely forgetting some of the birds that we had. Ducks, ducklings, kestrels. Like I worked on so many different birds. They were amazing. So yes, birds hold a very close place or special place in my heart. So, and where birds were unique to our world. I know there's where birds that must pop up in other urban fantasy stuff. I personally haven't read it. So I thought, well, this
Hmm.
might be special. This might attract people's attention. So Bianca gets pulled in. She's the one that's in the corner up here. She's introduced in the first book with her Karakara. Um, and the birds or the werebirds are special because they not only can transform into their birds, but the bird they turn into is actually another portion of their mind. It's like they have another being up there in their mind that they connect with. So to give the flock image and the flock feeling.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, we're going to switch over to the Kickstarter here in just a second, but I've got a question from author Stephanie. What kind of birds? I guess, what kind of birds do you have?
Oh, so I have a turquoise green cheek conure and a sun conure. They are both small parrots. I have three doves and a zebra finch. I used to have two zebra finches, but unfortunately, one of my old finches passed away earlier in February. So we are down to
Oh,
six instead of seven now.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so let us shift, but not really, because you've already mentioned that you are in the midst of a Kickstarter, and I mentioned it at the beginning. So tell us a little bit about Kickstarter in general, and for those who might not be familiar with that, with Kickstarter, and then we'll go into your particular program itself.
Sure. First, thank you, True. I appreciate it. She said condolences in the comments. So, Kickstarter is a way to raise funds for a particular project that you're doing. People who are trying to publish comics or books, people are doing games or music. Um, Basically things that people come up with. There's a lot of different platforms where there's Kickstarter, which is an all or nothing platform. So you either raise the money or you don't. There's Indiegogo, where you also can do that, or you can choose to keep whatever money you can get out of it. Those are the two platforms that you would want to go to if you're trying to, say, raise money to publish your books. Um, GoFundMe is more for emergencies and for people who have medical help and things like that. Avoid GoFundMe so those people can get help. Anyway, so the Kickstarter that I created is to publish the third book of my series, A Game of Fae. Now, if you haven't read The Purple Door District or you're unfamiliar with the series, that's okay. The Kickstarter is set up so that anybody walking in can learn about the series. There are tiers that are, excuse me, there are tiers that are set up that you can get the first two books plus the third, or if you have the first two, you can just get the three, etc. So I'm trying to make it as accessible to everybody. So I launched that on March 1st with a goal of 2,500, which goes towards everything. It goes to editors, proofreaders, sensitivity readers, to marketing, to cover creation, to getting an ISBN and copyright, publishing through Ingram Spark. And did I mention marketing? More marketing. Um, the thing about being an indie author is that you end up wearing all the hats basically when you're
Right.
publishing your book. So you are responsible for paying for all of that. And it gets to be expensive. And generally, what they'll say is that indie authors won't see a return on income until like their third book, because not many people will have gotten the chance to know them yet. So I'm trying to raise the funds to print this third book and get the trilogy out to everybody, because this is the last one in the Chicago trilogy. I do plan on more Purple Door District books, just this completes the Chicago series. So if you're interested in checking out my Kickstarter, check out the link in my bio, and that first one in there will take you directly to the Kickstarter. It explains everything better than I can right now, but it's it's been an amazing week. Like I said, I launched on the first, and so far we've raised I've been backed 2,069 out of the 2,500. And I'm giving away some extra perks, and we're going to have stretch goals as well, meaning we're hoping to also raise money past that point. But we'll kind of see how it goes. But like I said, Kickstarter is an all or nothing. You either get your goal and you get the funds, or if you don't reach your goal, you don't get anything. So that's why marketing is so important when it comes to Kickstarter.
Exactly. Now, is this your first Kickstarter, or have you done others?
No, this is my first Kickstarter. I've
Oh,
done
okay.
Indiegogo twice in the past, where I raised, I think, 600 for both of those, but my goal was much higher.
Yeah.
Kickstarter is a very different beast.
Yeah.
Um, I've had this is going back to relying on your community and working with other authors and creators. Um, I've had several authors who've run successful Kickstarters offer me advice and kind of coach me on what to do, how to set up my Kickstarter, etc. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where it is right now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Brian K. Morris is one of them. Jennifer Rose is another, which you guys should all check out. She just finished a Kickstarter for her Warden books, and she's a advocate for disability. So yeah, I can't thank the community enough for helping me put this Kickstarter together.
Yeah, and I think it's a very good point to make here is that Kickstarter can be a great way for indie authors and other
Hmm.
creators. It's certainly not restricted just to authors by any means. You know,
Oh
gamers.
yeah.
You know, if you have something that you want to create and you need funding for, Kickstarter, you know, is one of, you know, it's been around, I think, about the longest of all, and a lot of people hang out at Kickstarter, you know, looking
Hmm.
for something neat to, you know, kind of invest in. And
Hmm.
because, you know, it is kind of an investment, it's, I've backed several of them, including
Me
Erin's.
too.
My wife is looking forward to the book. And the more you talk about it, I'm thinking I might have to read it before she gets it. But it is a great way for writers to fund their projects, and in a way, pre-sale. You know, it's almost like
Exactly.
a way of, you know, doing a pre-order. You know, funding it, particularly you have in your case, and I've done two successful ones. I have other books that I can offer as rewards, so that
Hmm.
it's not purely I'm just giving out of the goodness of my heart. I'm giving out of the goodness of my heart, and look all the neat stuff I get back in return. So it's a
Exactly.
win-win, and that's really what I love about Kickstarter is they really are a win-win. And as Erin's pointing out, it takes a community.
Yes, it very
It
much
takes a
does.
village to build a book, you know, that type of thing.
Well, a lot of people will say that that they don't have funds to back a project, which is totally fine. And then they feel like there's no way to help. Well, just sharing the link, spreading word around about the Kickstarter is so important. The amount of eyes that this project has gotten through because friends of mine, fellow authors, and fellow creators have decided to share it has been amazing and is part of the reason why I've raised the funds that I have. So they share my stuff, I share theirs, I've backed some of the authors, they've backed me. It's all part of the rising tide ideology, and it's been amazing
Yeah.
to see the community come through like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking at your thing right now, and like you said, you people can go to it to check it out. If you are a
Mhm.
writer, this is a great place to start to, you know, study, because in a week's time, you know, Erin has raised over 2,000. You're well on your way. I think I calculated before that's like 82%
Me too. Yep.
of your full target in the first week. And so
Hmm.
you've still got, you know, 23 days to go. So it's pretty much for me, and you know, I don't want to jinx it. I want to do, if anything, I want to bless it. It's a slam dunk.
That's my
Invest
hope.
in this, get your rewards. Go ahead and, you know, pick out what rewards you want, and you can pretty much count on this one is going to come through, so you'll
Mhm.
get those rewards. It won't be one of those things of, oh, I'm sorry we didn't reach it. You know, Erin is going to reach it.
And
Bradford has spoken.
I made sure to add a bunch of additional add-ons of items like you can get that can connect you with the district. So, for example, handmade necklaces that characters wear. You can add
Hmm.
that onto your book to continue uh, the experience of the Purple Door District. And the art and everything has come from fellow indie artists and creators. So you'd be supporting me and supporting them, which is amazing. All of these character stickers in here was created by an artist
Wow.
named Ani Galara. And then my cover artist came from Fibber Fiverr. She did the covers of all three books. I was
Hmm.
very grateful for that. So, they're getting support as well. I've had so many people ask me about the character poster up here, and about that artist, who's Gabriella Bujoso, who is on Instagram. All these people that I've mentioned are in my Kickstarter. I gave credit to everyone so you can find them and you can request work from them as well.
Very
So
good.
again,
Very,
community.
very good. Excellent. Excellent. Because some of those names, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to remember that. I'll
Oh yeah.
just go to the bottom part of this thing and check it. So we're about running out of time. We have about 7 more minutes. So I'm going to shift once again to another topic. But if you have a question, if you're on my feed or you're on Erin's feed, you have a question,
Mhm.
type it in below, and both of us will kind of keep the eyes out for that. If you have a question about the Kickstarter, about any of her books, you want to ask me anything, ask away. If you want to find out how to be on the next Writers on Purpose live TikTok interviews, I'll figure out how to answer that one as well. So the other place we wanted to go here in the last few minutes was, what can you tell us about the writer's room that
Oh,
you've
definitely.
been instrumental in?
So I am one of the founders and current director of the Writers' Rooms. This is an Iowa-based nonprofit corporation that's focused on providing a free, safe environment to all writers, no matter your skill set, your age, your gender, race, etc. We are very welcoming to everyone, so long as you endeavor to be kind to the community. Um, it was created in Iowa City, and we have expanded basically to Iowa City, Coralville, Cedar Rapids, North Liberty, and we meet up. Each room is either genre specific or writing specific, and we'll meet for about 2 hours on particular nights. So, for example, I lead the Violet Realm, which is a sci-fi fantasy room. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month for 2 hours. For me, I typically will do some sort of writing lesson for an hour, and then we'll write for an hour after that. I'm currently still doing virtual because of COVID and also for accessibility. The others are meeting up in person at local establishment like Sanctuary Pub. You can learn more about us at welcome@thewritersrooms.org, which you can find that information on my website as well. The one thing I want to mention, hi, puppy. The one thing I want to mention is we are
Puppies.
actually looking for a new board of directors, and we have applications out there until March 18th. So if you are in the Iowa area and you would be interested in leading this amazing literary organization, please check out the applications. Or if you know somebody who would be great at doing it, please share it. I will be training people and helping people out. So it's an amazing it's really an amazing organization, and I really want to see it continue growing and blossoming.
Sure, I bet you do.
um,
And now, are the event are the gatherings face to face these days, or uh, zoomed, or
Most
how?
so couple of them are virtual. So our LGBTQIA Rainbow Room and the Violet Realm are both virtual, but our horror mystery room, our romance room, and our all genre rooms are in person again. So we're still kind of testing the waters with COVID. Myself and the person leading the Rainbow Room were both higher risk, which is why we're still being virtual. And we've also noticed that accessibility wise, it allows people outside of the state to come join us. So we
Sure.
really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
So,
great.
um,
So,
I I did get a question down here that was, how much are each of your books, and can you buy the trilogy together once a third is released? Yeah, so one of the tiers in Kickstarter is you can actually purchase all three books, which the rewards will come out in June, which is when the book comes out. So you'll be able to get them all together. The paperback books individually are $15 a piece. The ebooks are $3.99 a piece. I give a slight discount on the Kickstarter though for both the ebooks and the paper books. And if you do I guess the favored tier that people tend to do, you get the three paperback books signed by me, you get
mm,
the three ebooks, you get three stories from the Purple Door District that are short stories, all for $50, which is a lot more than what it would, or a lot less than what it would actually cost for all of it. So,
yeah.
would definitely recommend doing that.
Good. Very good. Excellent question. Thanks for whoever asked that. So
Yes, thanks,
we're
True.
gonna we're gonna wind this up. We may run a minute or two over. We'll see. I'm going to be doing a series of these. every other week. Our next one will be in 2 weeks, which will be, I think, the 21st, if I'm doing my math correctly, which I seldom do. And that will be with Betsy Love. You can find out about this, and that one's already been posted so when you go to my TikTok accounts, you'll see the ones, and you can go ahead and reserve a spot. That just gives us an idea of how many people may show up. And I tell you, it's a steep learning curve on this TikTok live thing, as is most things these days, and in cyberspace itself. So if you have any suggestions about it, if you know of a author who writes either fantasy, science fiction, and or visionary fiction, I am keeping it to those genres right now, that's the genres that I write and I feel most comfortable talking to other writers about. If you know somebody who would like to be a part of that, again, you can leave a comment at my TikTok, and I will get back in touch and sort out how to, how to go about having them be on the show itself.
He
Erin,
does an amazing job. I just want to put that out there. He is so nice and opening and welcoming. So please, please, please participate and check out the other authors. They're amazing.
yes, we've got several of them coming up, but like I said, the next one will be in 2 weeks with Betsy Love, and I'm looking forward to that. She has a pretty strong following on TikTok herself, as do you, Erin. So that's great. Anything last you'd like to say to as signing off time?
Just one, I just saw a comment from True that said, when this live is over, I'll be heading over to the Kickstarter. Thank you so much. Again, if you want to learn more about me, about the Kickstarter, and about the writers' rooms, check out the links in my bio. It'll take you to Linktree and all the other social media places you need to go. I post on TikTok regularly, and I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me and for all of you coming to listen. And welcome to the district.
Very good. Okay, everybody. That's a wrap up for today, and we'll be back in about 2 weeks. Please share this with your lovers of books, because that's what we all are for sure. Take care,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hi, everyone.